What's going on, guys? Welcome back. In today's video we're doing HackTheBox Bart. Bart is a machine with a lot of things to do. Not that difficult or hard, it's medium in difficulty, but it has a lot of things to do, a lot of things to accomplish. And that's why, as you will see in the practical part of this video, that I have skipped doing some things live. I've just did them before I do the video, and I will show only the results. So basically, a couple things to do in this machine. The first thing, we're gonna do brute force login forms. The unique thing in brute forcing login forms in this machine is that these forms use CSRF token. So CSRF tokens change every time you send a request to log in, which means that we cannot, if you want to brute force the login form, we can't use Hydra, right? We can't use basic brute force with perp suite, in which we supply word list, we plug into positions of the payloads, and we say attack. Not gonna work. So what's gonna happen here? The CSRF token changes every time, so we're gonna need to use a method in perp suite called grep extract. Grep extract is a way to tell perp suite how to interactively change a couple parameters while it tries the login credentials every time it sends a request. So basically that's how it actually adapts to the CSRF token that changes every time. So we tell perp suite that we're gonna do grep extract every time an incorrect format or incorrect login is actually returned. Perp suite will be able to recognize this and change the CSRF token accordingly. So after we find the login credentials, we will see there is a log file. We'll perform log file poisoning. There is a log file under /log/log.txt. So this log file takes parameters. The parameters name are, we have the file name and username. Once we supply the username and the file name, we will be able to see the log file. So after we see the log file, it turns out that every request to the page is logged with the user agent of the person who requested the page. Which means that if we try to change a couple of things in the parameters such as a file name and username, it's not going to work. So we're going to see how we will poison this file in a practical part. So lastly, we will poison the log file to get shell. After we get the shell, we move to Windows privilege escalation. In this part, we have two methods to accomplish root. The first one is juicy potato, and the next one is plain text credentials in registry. So one of the Windows privilege escalation methods is to look for plain text credentials in the registry. In this machine, this method will work, or we can actually try juicy potato since the machine has C impersonate privilege enabled for the current user. When you see this privilege is enabled for the current user, which means we can actually try our luck with juicy potato to exploit or to move the privilege to root. Let's see how all of this actually works. So this is the machine. Make sure to spawn the machine, and there you go. So first part is the nmap scan. I'm just going over the results, guys. I'm sure you can know how to issue the command and get the results. So as you can see in the nmap scan, we got only one port open. When we navigate to the port or to the IP address, we see, let's have this. I can just show you the page, guys, so you are aware what is being done. So it navigates to forum.bart.htb. Make sure to add this to the host file so that you will be able to access the page. Couple of things to notice in this page is one of them actually is the team, our team. If you right click and view page source, scroll down, you'll see in this section here we have email addresses for Harry Potter. So here you go, we have one username, h.potter@bart.htp. This is one username. And for the other team members, their email addresses are revealed. For example, for Robert Hilton, we have the email address, and for Daniel Simmons, we have also their email address. Also for Samantha, we have her email address, s.brown. Now, why this is important, as you will see in the login form, these emails, yeah, they are revealed, but they will not work as a username, as we will see. So next thing, but it's worth mentioning that extracting the emails from the team page is actually a method that would work in real life. Sometimes some companies leave the email addresses of their workers in their website. So if you harvest the email addresses and try to guess the password or send a phishing campaign, you may have a luck in this. So that's the first thing in this page. So we go to, let me show you here what I have done. So we do directory brute force. Go Buster. Okay, so you will issue this command, guys. I'm not sure where was the tab here that so next you will issue go Buster. After you issue this, let me show you what happened. You will see that it directs you to another page. So if you take this one and access it, you see this page. It's not going to work, so we go back and notice that the response length is 158607. So this is why we try our luck with wfuzz and we filter according to the length. So wfuzz -c-w user share word lists. Okay. Medium. Okay. And --hh, we take this length, and we filter it, and lastly the URL /fuzz. That's how we actually enumerate directories using wfuzz. Enter. This is one of the stages that will take long. As you can see, we have responses here. All of them are 200. We're going to filter these by adding this, or by filtering this length. We're going to modify the command and type 150693. Once you do this, all of these will be filtered, and we will only get the responses which have other length. As you can see, we have forum, and after a while we'll see monitor. That's how we reveal the other directories. Okay, so when we navigate to forum, let's log out. Okay, log out from here. All right. Okay, so how do we reveal this page? So basically we navigate to let's also log out from here. Okay, so once we go to /monitor, it will redirect you to this domain, monitor.bar.htp. You can add this to the host file and reopen it. And this is the form I have talked about at the very first of the video. We have a login form. Okay, so we've typed forget password, and since we know beforehand, I told you guys that we have usernames revealed here. Daniel, Robert, and Samantha, and also don't forget Harvey. If you try here with one username such as harvey.potter, the feedback you will get from the application indicates whether the username is actually correct or not, or the email is correct or not, which will help you guess and speculate the actual right username. So if you type submit, or if you click on submit, you see the provider username couldn't be found. So which means Harvey doesn't use his email address as a username. So that's why we get a try with different usernames. For example, you can try with Harvey, and you can try with Harvey. If you try with this one and click on submit, you will see the feedback from the application actually saying an email has been sent to you with information on how to reset your password, which means now we know that Harvey is the correct username. Now you're gonna have to guess the password. So if we use now Purp Suite to simulate a login request, proxy, okay, let's type Harvey and test, log in, and here we see the login request. Along with the login request, we see the parameters. We have a CSRF token and the parameter names for the username and the password. So if you want to brute force the login form, we have to account for the CSRF token that we see here. And CSRF tokens normally they change every time, which means we cannot go about using Hydra or any other regular tool that won't actually interact with the application as far as the CSRF tokens are concerned. So what we have to do here, we're gonna have to send this to the intruder. Okay, positions, clear all the positions and only highlight the password. Add, go to payloads. Okay, now the word list, which word list to use. RockU won't gonna work. So what I did, and what everyone did actually in this challenge, is that we used the forum page here, the main page, to create a word list or a password word list using Sewell. So let me show you the command. Sewell. It wasn't here. I'm just trying to invoke the autocomplete. ls. Okay, so now we go over the page forum bar.h2p and we create a word list out of the words mentioned in this page using Sewell, and we actually forward the output or all of the words and the passwords to a file called pass.txt. We will use this file as a word list to crack the form. So we load and we go to Bart pass.txt, and there you go. One last thing is to go to options and use the grep extract. These settings can be used to extract use of information from responses into the attack results table. We click on add, we go to extract from regex group, fetch response. Okay, scroll down until you see let's see here, information. The information is incorrect. Now we supply this to Purp Suite, we click on OK, and we start. Then we go to start the attack. This will take some time. You will find that the password is Potter. So we go to the page, proxy here, disable, and the password will be Potter. Now once we log in, we see server monitor for chat application. If you click on servers, it sends you to a different page, and there is another domain to be added to the host file. So make sure you add this domain to your host file to be able to open it. So once we open this, it will send us to this login form. So we have another login form to crack. This time we're gonna use Purp Suite to see if there is a CSRF token. So we simulate with test and test, and we see that there is no CSRF token. So here we can use Hydra to crack this form. So now we go to the command line, and I'm going to show you the command. Here it is. So -L, the username is Harvey. Of course, this is a guess based on the previous form. And now -pass. Now, how do I generate this file? Let's go back. As you can see, it says when you generate an incorrect attempt, it says the password must be at least 8 characters. So what to do here to generate a word list of only 8 characters? Let me show you how I did this. pw inspector. I want the autocomplete command again. Alright, let me show you the command. So pw-inspector, and we define the word list, user share word list raw q-m, and we specify that we would like to extract the 8-character length password from this word list. And lastly, we specify the output, which will be pass 8 in length, whatever, right? After you type this command, you're going to be able to see a new file called this one. Cat this file, and you will only see 8 links passwords. Okay, all right. So what is the next step now? Okay, so we have now new word list. Now we use Hydra again. We go back to the command. Where was the command? Oh my god, I shouldn't have done this here. I overflowed the Hydra command, but let me see if I can invoke it from here. Okay, so -p, the new word list we generated, 8-character lengths, at least 8 characters. So if you're still confused about how we generated this, guys, just take it like that. We took the RAQ word list, and actually we took only the passwords, which are only 8 characters or more, because 8 characters is the least length required for the valid password. -d 60, we used 60 threads, and this is a domain from here, and the post request, because the login form actually is a post request, and here we define the path. The path is /simplechat login.php from here, and here are the login or the parameter names, uname. How do we know these? From the, as I showed you before, we intercept the request, a simple test request, login request, and we grab the parameter names. We plug these, and you will find that the password is Harvey password 1. So Harvey, make sure the P is uppercase, and we log in here. Now he will see the log file we talked about earlier. So if you click the page source, you will see that there is a link to a log file. Let's take this one and go here. So you see it is 1. It says 1. So no idea why it's 1. So we go back and we only type log.php. See what happens. Now it complains that there is no file name parameter defined, right? So that's why we say file name equal log and username equal Harvey. Now if you omit the username, it's going to complain that there is no username parameter. That's why this is the correct complete link. So it says 1. So what's going on here? What's going on, guys, is that there is a log file posing vulnerability here. How do we know? As you can see, we have URL parameters, right? These parameters, which means what we're trying to do here, we're trying to use the log.php file to view a file called log.txt. What if we try to view the log file here without this PHP file, like that? We open the possibility for directory traversal. So log.txt, and as you can see, we see all of the logs. These logs have been generated, guys, whenever there's an attempt to log in. It captures the user agent, right? Every time it captures the user agent. Okay, so now to see how we will poison this file, it's first important to understand that the user agent is being captured and posted to the log file. What if we try to manipulate the user agent to something else, such as simple PHP one-liner to execute commands? Will we be able to execute commands, or will the one-liner be posted in the log file? We're gonna have to find out. I'll go back to the sender. Where was this one? Repeater. So if we change this to high, for example. Okay, if we try with the log file, the original log file, we send high as a user agent. One more time. So as you can see, this is the high that I sent a while ago. What does this mean? It means that if we manipulate the user agent to any value we want, it will be posted to the log file. Okay, so if you go back now, close this one. Another one. Okay, so send this again to the repeater. So what we will do here, guys, we will, instead of the user agent, we will use one-liner, PHP one-liner to execute commands. So let's go to the file here. Okay, let's look for PHP one-liner where we can execute system commands. This one looks fine. Let's take this one and replace the current user agent with the PHP one-liner. So the same method we actually used when we plugged here the word high. We, instead of the high, now we used the PHP one-liner to execute system commands using the parameter cmd. Now, one thing left to modify here is that the log file itself. So instead of log.txt, I'm going to create a new file, say test.php here. Okay, now what's going to happen? This one-liner will be posted to the PHP file here I created. In the same manner, the high that we used in the user agent has been actually posted to the log file, the original log file. Let's see now how this plays out. So we can click on send. Okay, as you can see, we got okay response. Now what we have to do, we're going to have to navigate to the test.php file using the browser. Okay, so instead of log, say test and cmd equal who am I. Let's see if this works. And indeed it worked. As you can see now, we have the user ID, or the identity is authority user, iUser. If we try with system info, again we see the system information. So I hope the idea of log file poisoning is clear to you now, guys. I'm gonna repeat again what we did. Actually, we manipulated the user agent to post payloads to the log files or to system files of our choosing. That's how we actually poisoned the original what was the name? The original log file. Okay. Now, next step is to take reversal or generate reversal. Since this is a Windows system, from as you can see the output here says Microsoft Windows, we're going to use Nishank PowerShell. So I already grabbed a copy of Nishank PowerShell. ls, this is it. I named it shell.ps1. If you check it out, at the very end, don't forget to add this with your IP address and the port of your listener. Okay, next step. Next step is to download, or let the machine download this and execute it. So we used, again, PowerShell. Okay. Any one of these would work. So I use this one, copy that, and go back. So turn the intercept back on and enter. So this one, instead of system info, we're gonna use this. This will retrieve the nishank from my web server and execute it. Don't forget that you need to encode this as URL in the URL format. So Control U, and you hit forward. Once you hit forward, you will be able to receive the shell like that. Okay. All right. So this part is clear. I'm gonna click on drop. All right. So after we have achieved the first foothold on the machine, now it's time to conduct Windows privilege escalation. Now, as demonstrated and outlined at the very first of the video, we have two methods. It's to look for, the first one is to look for the plain text credentials in the registry, and the other one is to use Juicy Potato. So the first one is easy actually. I'm gonna leave it for you guys. We're gonna do the Juicy Potato here. So you can download the Juicy Potato from this link. You click on download, okay? Download it to your own machine. It's time now to retrieve it or download it to the target machine. So use cert utility -URL cache, and here is the IP address of your attacker machine, and it will be downloaded to this directory. This is it. By the way, don't forget to open the web server. Using this command to be able to upload the files to the target machine. So we have the Juicy Potato. Now for the Juicy Potato to work, it needs another script to execute. All right. So what Juicy Potato does, it actually executes a script or command of your choice. Since this is a Windows machine, we used a bat file, right? A bat file. A bat file is a file that, much like a script, right, can be executed in Windows, and you can put whatever commands you want inside this bat file. So let me show you the bat file I choose. ls. This is the bat file. What it does, what it does actually, it retrieves another copy of the nishank PowerShell. This time I named it shell 2, and actually what it does, it connects to another listener open on my machine. So here you go. I'm going to open new listener here, -LVP 4546 this time, and make sure that shell 2 does exist in your directory. Cat shell 2. Let's take a look at shell 2. As you can see, the port is 4546. Now we go back. Now don't forget also to download the bat file to the target machine using cert utility, the same method we used to download the Juicy Potato. All right, so let me go to Windows Privilege Escalation and take a look at the Juicy Potato exploitation steps. So we did all of this. Now we need the CLS ID. Okay, so we go to this link and we grab the CSL ID for Windows 10. How do we know? Again, system info. So we're dealing with Windows 10 Pro here. We're gonna have to grab the CS or CLS ID for Windows 10 Pro, and this is it. As you can see, this column, I'm gonna grab this one. Okay, this one. Next step is to issue the command itself. So let's copy that. Couple stuff to modify or change. Paste. You need the file name of the bat file. It was shell.bat. Shell.bat. Next, we need -L. The port, it will be 4546. 4546. And lastly, we need the CSL ID with the option -C. Okay, we grab the CSL ID from here. Four, 5, 4, 6. We're gonna wait here. So what do we have? The string is missing the parameter terminator dot. Yes, that's correct. Let's see now. And as you can see, we received the session on 4546. Who am I? And we are the net authority system. Going one directory back to grab the root flag. So go to users, administrator, cat root text, and this is it. Submit. How difficult is this machine? What do you think? I think there is no, it's not that difficult, but it actually has a lot of things to accomplish, many milestones. So I'm gonna just type or select 5, submit flag, and this is done. So I hope you guys like this video, and I will definitely see you in the next one.